Hi everyone. Have you ever been in the following situation? You spent hours and hours working on a perfect lesson plan. You use a variety of online and printed sources. You studied the characteristic of every student in the group you are going to teach. You wrote down the anticipated problems. And then, after the lesson, the students simply didn't like you, didn't like the lesson. The students simply wanted another teacher. In today's video, we're going to discuss what happens when you do your job the way you're supposed to do, the way you're trained to do your job when you do your job professionally, and then at the end, you are welcomed with negative feedback. How to overcome this horrible experience with minimum mental damage. First of all, let's agree on this very simple fact. You will never be liked by everyone, no matter how lovable you are, no matter how professionally your job is done. If you have one person who likes what you do, you will have on the other side 10 who don't. The key to save your nerves is one phrase: let it go. The first type is, I hate everything. I hate myself, I hate my life, I hate people who live, I hate you all. It mostly occurs when we are dealing with adults, especially when we are teaching business English. 90% of the people in this category need English or any other foreign language because of their job, because they have to, not they want to. So they are very picky, and they already come to the lesson with a preconception that nothing would work for them. So we must expect that our cooperation with this group or individual will be short-lived. You will probably get unclear feedback that the lesson wasn't structured well, the teacher spoke very fast or very slow, or the teacher wasn't good enough, without giving any extra details that could help identify what the problem really was. The reason for this vague feedback is that the student doesn't actually know what the problem really is, so they will just give general notes. There could be another reason. A lot of students have spent a long time with one teacher. They're already used to the teacher's methodology. And then, because of unexpected reasons, they had to change the teacher. And they expect everyone else to use the same way of teaching as their previous teacher. So when they face any new methodology, they will react in a very negative way. Let's not forget that students are not teachers. So the way they measure the outcome of the lesson is far away from the academic way of measuring. You may have the opposite situation. That sometimes the students will like you more than their previous teacher, but we're not here to talk about those students. So when receiving this feedback, you can mark the end of cooperation with this group, even though it's the very first lesson. Now, it's normal and expected to have some kind of bad emotions after being rejected, or you feel that you have just been told off. But as long as you did your job honestly and professionally, don't blame yourself. The problem is not you. Always remember that to build a name for yourself, you have to be patient. You have to learn how to take it easy, which is really difficult in the beginning. But with time, your emotions will build their own defensive line. In other words, a vaccine. You will feel bad, but this feeling wouldn't last for long. Another hint which might help you in the beginning is to start your teaching career in educational courses, which I talked about in the last video. You can either watch it here or here. I'm not sure. You better watch that video. It's true that in the beginning is going to be like hell concerning the private life, but you'll at least have some kind of protection while you are working on your emotional vaccine, if you can call it like that, if you can call it emotional vaccine. Your emotions, your heart will start adapting to the fact that throughout your teaching career you will be faced with rejection and negative feedback. Another difficult type of students is the type of I know everything. Those students will actually teach you how to teach them. And I'm not talking about the soft feedback, which we will discuss later. They will actually dictate you and guide you how to teach them. This way is effective, that way isn't. We don't need grammar, we just need to work on our speaking. This is good, this is bad, and so on. And you are like, since you know everything, since you know what you need, you know how to learn it, so what are you doing here? Why did you come to me? Why don't you simply go and study yourself? You don't need my help, you don't need anyone's help. The best way to deal with this group is to simply say yes. Just tell them yes. Tell them what they want to hear. Say, yes, you're right, we'll use this, we'll use that. And then during the lesson, simply use your own way. And don't worry, the students will not recognize. The students wouldn't feel that you are not doing what they just told you to do. Because if they knew, they wouldn't have come to you. The last type is, the teacher is my superhero. The teacher is the boss. So whenever you ask them a question, they will say, well, we don't know, you are the teacher. Whenever you try to collect any piece of feedback, they will say, okay, if you say so. When you ask them, okay, what is your mood like today? Would you like to have grammar and speaking, or you'd like to have functional language and listening? They'll say, we don't know, we are not teachers, you are the teacher. Now, those people actually, if you take the first impression, this type is could be, the easiest type to deal with, but at the same time could be the worst part, because they wouldn't differentiate between the soft feedback and the way how the lesson should be taught. Anything you ask them, they'll say, you decide. You are the one who is in charge. And sometimes they will really irritate you, and they will need longer time to adapt to your way of teaching, to start understanding you, to start realizing that the student is the main part of the learning process, not the teacher. The teacher, at least for me, the real teacher does not give you the information. The real teacher gives you the way how to get the information yourself. So those are the three types of students that might cause you some issues and some problems in the beginning when you teach them. Of course, there are other kinds of students, but they wouldn't come with major issues. Of course, you will always have issues every time you teach, but I'm not talking about these problems that could be solved with time. I'm talking about the problem that could really put an end to your cooperation with the course, or even with the group itself. Again, you can always share your experience, share your stories, what experience you have had. Have you got any interesting stories which you can share with us? Please feel free to express them and talk about them in the comments. Don't forget to watch the previous episodes. Thank you for watching.